XCR 375 H&H Mag here, and I'm going to do a quick video about SHTF, Snitches, Rats, and Informants during SHTF. This kind of spurred a little bit of an idea tonight. I watched the first 2 episodes of the new season of The Last Ship. A couple interesting points in there about snitches and OPSEC and so on and so forth. Don't want to spoil any of the show for people that haven't seen it yet, but there is a particular scene where one of the guys goes out to try to find some medicine or some aspirin or Tylenol to bring a fever down for somebody in the show. And he's spotted by a person who looks like he's been through hell. And that person calls in, what you can say, the powers that be. I don't want to give too much away on the show. Anyway, the snitch, rat, informant, piece of shit, basically called in the powers that be and informed where those people were staying. And they showed up, and they give the snitch a package of food and like a bottle of water or something like that. So, and then the snitch basically says if it wasn't for her, they would have the whole entire neighborhood would be filled with sick people and so forth and so on. So, quite interesting. So it kind of brought an idea into my head. You know, as people prepare and are prepping and stuff like that, they're going to be very aware of their surroundings and who's around them and so forth, and see if they're being followed and so forth, which brings into operational security and so forth. Yeah, you know, people in that particular situation, you know, when the shit has hit the fan, there's very little resources, the system's collapsed and so forth. They are going to be doing whatever they need to survive. And if that means diming other people out so they can get a package of MREs and a couple bottles of water, they're going to do that. So then, you know, you're going to get stuck with that. You're going to have that problem. You know, people are going to show up on your doorstep if you get followed and so forth. So it's important that you know your area, your surroundings, where people could hide or spy on you or whatever. It's important to, you know, have overwatch. Make sure somebody has your back, pretty much. So then this leads into the other portion of it. I know it's a TV show, and I know it's Hollywood and so forth and so on, but you know, you're going to really have to manage your light discipline and so forth. Make sure you have good light discipline and so on. I mean, if you're in a city that looks like it's been bombed out and it's an SHTF situation, you're not going to want to stand out and turn your lights on in the place and have candles lit and so forth like that, emanating, you know, light outside, unless you can totally block the windows, which, you know, highly unlikely, especially if you're on the run. So, anyway, pretty good show tonight. Both episodes, you know, season premiere of season 2, so I mean, it was pretty good. They tied up a lot of loose ends and so forth. Don't want to give away any spoilers just in case people have not seen it yet. But anyway, then let's see. Rats, informants, and snitches. So you catch one of these people. What are you going to do with them? Are you going to make them a deal? They're going to try to blackmail you? What are you going to do? Are you going to tie them up and hang them from a big old tree limb or from the barn? because of it. Remember, they've probably been scoping out your property or area for quite some time. And what are you going to do if you catch them? They know how many people you have. They know your property. They know what type of resources you have. So, I mean, this particular snitch, rat, or informant could be part of a marauder group. What are you going to do? Remember, if you catch them, there's pretty much no law and order around. What do you do? Do you, like I say, shoot them? Do you hang them? I would probably personally hang them because bullets are going to be hard to come by eventually. Why waste around when rope works just fine? So, Anyway, that's pretty much the questions that I have is be aware, know who's around you, cover your tracks, do some, research into escape and evasion techniques, see if you're being followed, use your hearing, and also at the same time, what happens when you catch one of these people sneaking around your property? Instant death? Do you interrogate them? Do you torture them to get information out of them to find out what's going on? What's the deal? I mean, these are questions that you could be faced with, or situations you could be faced with. You caught them, shoot them, hang them, torture them, then shoot them, then hang them. Get as much information out of them as possible. So, anyway, I guess I'm going to cut the video here. I know a lot of people have been kind of antsy lately on stuff, but just some questions that popped into my mind from watching tonight's episodes. Anyway, XCR 375 signing off.